Our next filter, let's say that we want the ability to just view the ones that are published or just the ones in post-production or just the ones being written, so on and so forth. So we're going to be querying by our movie status. So the first thing we're going to need is a way to list out all of our movie statuses within our actual page as a filter option. So let's go ahead and query those. Just add a const movie statuses equals, scroll up a little bit here, await movie status importer model by hitting tab dot query. And let's go ahead and order by, I believe movie statuses are using a name, and we'll keep that ascending. And then for the movie status, let's go ahead and select just the ID and the name column. Okay. Give that a save, and let's provide that into our page state. I'm going to break this down a little bit so it's just nice and clean, and we'll do our movie statuses right there. All right, now for our actual index page, we just need to add that in. We'll add that in after our title search, and it would be great to go ahead and be able to use the main functionality of our form input for selects as well. There's a few different ways that we could go about that, but if we dive into our form input by holding command and clicking the components tag, the main gist of what we want to do is switch this to be able to be a select. So we'll do if the type that we provide in equals select, then we'll render out one thing, else let's go ahead and just render out our input tag. Okay, so we can end the if there. Then we just need to add in our select tag, add in the name, or an empty string, and will allow us to define the options for the select outside of the component. So we'll do 3 curly braces, await slots dot main. Give that a save. Let's jump back into our index.h page, and let's add in our at form dot input. We'll exclude the exclamation point here because we will need to add in the selects options. We'll have our label be status, and the name will be status as well. We'll end that. Oh, we also need to add in the type so that it actually renders out our select of select there, which leaves us with needing to loop over our statuses. So we'll do status in movie statuses, end our each there, and do an option for each one. So option value equals status dot ID. Then for the display, we'll do status dot name. Okay, we're also going to need to select which one's actually active, but we'll do that here momentarily. Let's just make sure that we have everything working a-okay at this point in time. Oof, that is not pretty, but there are our options. So everything does seem to be working okay. We do need to add in an all option as well. So let's hide that away and add that in real quick. So we'll just add that in as the first option within our form. So option value equals, we'll just have that be empty and have the text be all. While we're here, let's go ahead and dive into our resources CSS app.css, and let's add select into our input style. Give that a save. We can close that out, jump back into our browser, and okay, that's not quite one-to-one, but it's good enough to get us going. So now we have our all within here as well. I believe casting was just selected because Firefox likes to hold on to select values. So if I do a hard refresh here, yeah, it defaulted to all. Okay, cool. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is actually apply in our status query, and then we'll go about adding our active state into the status field itself. So let's hide this back away, jump back into our movies controller, and we gave the input a field name of status. So that's what its key will be within our query string. So we'll just add in another if here. So if query string dot status, then we'll want to apply a truthy query statement to it, relatively similar to what we're doing for our title search, except this one will be a specific where status ID equals our query string dot status, so that we can confirm everything's actually correct as well. Let's go ahead and preload our status onto these results as well. Jump into our component for our movie card, and right down here, let's give our definition list up to our div here a copy and a paste right above there, and just end that definition list out, and we'll switch writer to status. We won't need an href, so we'll get rid of that, and this will just be movie status name. We're not preloading that on all of our pages, so we will want to wrap that inside of if here as well. So if show status and if, and plop that inside. Okay, give that a save. Let's jump back into our index page, scroll down to where we're using that component, and add in a show status of true. Okie doke. So let's jump back into our browser. We now see our status. It's got quite a bit of spacing in between it, but that's okay for right now. So we can see that it is released. So if we were to switch our status here from all to just released, submit this. Okay, cool. We still see 12 angry men because our title search is still searching for angry. And now our status is 5. And remember, we haven't added that status default value into our field yet, so that's why status is showing all there. If we get rid of the angry title search, switch this back to released and search once more, now we just have our status being applied. We still see 12 angry men, and all of the movies that we see back have a status of released. So cool, we know that that's being applied a-okay. For sanity's sake, let's switch this to something different. So post-production, just have 2 in post-production, none in casting, and let's see about writing, we have 3 being written, which leaves us with just needing to populate in the currently applied status filter to the status field. So let's hide that back away, scroll back up. Let's break this display value down to a separate line there. And let's do double curly braces html.attrs, which is an HTML helper that will provide in the key value pair that we add into the attrs as direct attributes for the option. And we can provide a key value pair of, let's see, I think option uses selected. So we'll do selected where status ID equals, and we'll just do 2 equals here because our query string will come through as an actual string, whereas our ID within our model is a number. And we'll do filters dot status. Give that a save, jump back into our browser. Let me give this a hard refresh. And there we go. So now we see it's being set to written. If we switch this to post-production, give that a search, it now populates automatically for that as well. Since I'm in Firefox, I'm going to give this a hard refresh just for sanity's sake. There we go. And if we leave this at all, once more, sanity's check there by doing a hard refresh, and it's still all awesome. So that's working a-okay there as well.